Hey, everybody, welcome back to the next episode. And today our guest is Shabari Monica Das. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Shane. I'm really, really delighted to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you. So she's got quite a long bio. So I'm going to kind of make it briefer and then kind of let her explain. As of right now, she wears many different hats and in the vegan space and having vegan businesses. But one of her main businesses right now and her initiative is the World Vegan Market, which you can see it says right behind her, the World Vegan Market, where she helps vegan businesses be seen online by a global audience of thousands. She also leads a London vegan business network supporting over 1,000 vegan businesses, freelancers, startups, aspiring entrepreneurs, professional students, and job seekers. And she's just done a lot in the vegan community. She's been vegan for, I believe, what, 21 years now, is it, or 25 years?
25
25
years.
years. Wow. So I just about lost you 4 years on that one. So, so tell us, you do a lot in the space. You've been vegan for a long time. Kind of tell us a little bit, a cliff note of your journey of how you got to here, and then why are you doing this type of business also?
Sure. Well, in terms of my vegan journey, if I can talk about that a little bit first.
Yeah.
I became vegan 25 years ago. But before that, I was a vegetarian for a couple of years, and it was actually during the second year at university when I did my bachelor's degree that a friend's boyfriend had asked me, just one day I was at my friend's place for dinner, and he was asking me, well, why do you eat animals that are on your plate? And I didn't really think of it too much at the time, and I said to him, well, I don't really know. I mean, I don't really think of it as animals. And he said, well, what do you think of it as? Peas. And then that stuck in my mind, and gradually the following year I really disliked eating meat and fish, and my body was even rejecting them. So eventually I did give up eating meat and then fish, and then it was the same with prawns. And then how I became to become vegan was I attended it was the Kingston Green Fair, which was our
Right.
local green fair, and they had a stall there. It was run by Animal Aid, which is one of the largest animal rights organisations in the UK. And they had some literature about the cruelty of the dairy industry and the cruelty of the egg industry. And
Right.
I didn't know about this at all. And when I picked up the literature and I read it, I thought, oh my goodness, it's not enough being a vegetarian. And then again, the same thing happened. I was uncomfortable eating dairy and eggs, and again my body had started rejecting those. So I eventually became a vegan. Well, in fact, actually it wasn't that much later that I became vegan. So yeah, that was 25 years ago. So how I sort of started my journey into becoming a business owner was okay, after a little bit of a slow start academically, and then not sort of getting the degree classification that I had hoped for my bachelor's degree, I had worked for a variety of different roles for several years before actually going back to university to do an MA in international business administration. And I decided, okay, I'm going to work really, really hard, and that's what I did. And and my hard work actually paid off, because I was awarded a special shield for getting the best masters in management masters in management project dissertation. And so then after that, I wrote a groundbreaking research paper to do with greenwashing, which is what my dissertation was based on. And that was published in quite a prestigious academic journal, the Business and Society Review. And this was in 2005, when greenwashing wasn't really a term that was very well known. And then, so how I actually came to run my own businesses was actually due to not really finding the right kind of employment where I would be valued. And so at the time, I was working for a market research company for about 6 years. And then one day, the sort of boss's boss came in and said to the whole of the department, okay, we're going to terminate your contract. And if you want to continue working for the company, you'd have to become self-employed. And I didn't want to do that, because I was there for 6 years. I thought that I would lose my employment rights. And so it was a long, hard battle for 2 years, where I fought them in the employment tribunal courts. And then unfortunately I lost there, and then I fought again at the employment appeal tribunal. And even though I lost again, I won the moral victory. And the Employment Appeal Tribunal judge did actually say to me that I deserved compensation, but unfortunately he couldn't change the law, and he said that law needed to change. So then what happened was I wanted to I kind of thought to myself, well, what shall I do? Shall I, try to go back into employment again? Or, and I had some ideas at the time, and I thought, well, okay, let's give self-employment a go. And then it almost came up at exactly the right time, the opportunity where I received an email to join as an independent distributor for a franchise style vegan skincare company. And because they said the word vegan, I just I thought, this is amazing, this is a really, really fantastic opportunity. So I actually joined without hesitation, and this was 8 years ago. And then it was 6 years ago that I took over the London Vegan Business Network. And at the time, there was less than 100 members who are vegan business owners, startups, freelancers, professionals, job seekers, students as well. But now, as you mentioned earlier, it now has over 1,200 members, and not only are they based in London, but also outside London as well. So they're based in all over the UK, and even all over the world as well. And it actually grew organically. And so pre-pandemic days, I did actually used to do a lot of networking out there. I used to go out there a lot to do networking with various different business owners. And then I also actually organized my own networking events through the London Vegan Business Network, where I invited the members, and we used to have meals at vegan restaurants or for vegetarian restaurants that had good vegan options. And the way that that I had run it was that I would have somebody who would be a host, someone who was the note. I would be the main, or I would be the organizer, but I would also be the main note taker as well. And then we would introduce each other, whoever attended, go around the table. And then there would be a particular theme, for example, like how to use social media, or how to run how to run a market stall successfully, because a lot of the business owners also did market stalls as well, including myself. And I have a lot of knowledge actually running market stalls, because of running a vegan skincare business. Oh my goodness, I did so many stalls up and down the country, and I know the pitfalls of running market stalls. And so I was able to use that knowledge as well. So when the pandemic hit, I organized some online networking for the London Vegan Business Network members. I pivoted my my vegan skincare business to online only. And then I was actually watching what other people were doing during the pandemic, how they were running their businesses online. So World Vegan Market came about, I would say, just at the perfect time during the second lockdown in the UK. So how it came about was that a school friend of mine, who was also selling the same vegan skincare line as myself, she decided to launch an online Diwali market. And so she really inspired me to launch my own online market. And mine was an online vegan market. And so that all happened, and it was launched on the 1st of November 2020, which is World Vegan Day, and the whole of November is in fact World Vegan Month. And I went all out, and I arranged a gala weekend where I interviewed a number of people. For example, I interviewed the manager of Veg Fest, which is arguably one of the biggest, or the biggest, like a face-to-face vegan event in Europe. So I managed to interview him. I interviewed a solicitor in regards to animal rights issues. I interviewed somebody who had a vegan guide, and then also I had people do cookery demonstrations as well. And so my World Vegan Market isn't just where small business owners who sell vegan products or vegan friendly services get seen by a worldwide audience. I also attract people to come to join, because I arrange all these various activities as well. For example, during the Great Big Green Week, I had a number of speakers talk about how you can go green, how being green is great for the environment as well. And so I'm actually organizing my 13th vegan online vegan market called World Vegan Festive Market. And so that's my story.
That's cool. That's awesome. So what has been one of the biggest challenges for you starting this type of business?
Well, I guess for me, because I have it's almost with the World Vegan Market, I'm actually running 3 different businesses in one. So I'm actually looking for stall holders to book virtual space, a virtual space, and then I'm also building up my community as well. Getting people to join my Facebook group, where all the the main activities are happening. happening, and making sure that that they are the right people for my stall holders,
Right.
who want their products and who want their services as well. And then also being an online events organizer as well, coming up with creative ideas, and then inviting guests to be part of a particular weekend. For example, I've done things like a healthy lifestyle weekend where I've invited vegan nutritionists to talk about plant-based nutrition, and then I've also done things like for example, as I mentioned about the Great Big Green Week, and then I've done a variety of entertainment as well. I've done I actually organised a Vegans Have Got Talent contest,
Right. Right.
where there was several different contestants, and they performed online, and the voting went to the public as to who they wanted to be the winner, and then the winner won a hamper that was made up of products that were donated from my stall holders. And so and then for example, International Women's Day as well, I interviewed a number of different women who had stories to tell, who are really inspiring. So yes, it is like running 3 businesses in
Right.
one, and that's just for the world vegan market alone.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Two-way marketplace businesses are actually the hardest business to build, having a
Yes.
two-way marketplace, because you got to get both sides right. You got to bring in people from every area. Very lucrative business if people get it right. But I tell people, when they're building two-way marketplace, it's you're working both sides of everything. So it makes it it's a yin and yang, and it's got to be a real balance on both sides.
Absolutely. And it is tough. I mean, I can't tell you how tough it is. It is really tough. And one thing actually, when I spoke to the manager of a Veg Fest, where before I interviewed him, or perhaps even afterwards, he did say to me that it's really fantastic what you're doing, but he's had like 20-30 years experience in doing like a face-to-face markets, and then he did a number of online sort of not markets, but like Veg Fest, but
Right.
he also did online events as well. And what he said to me, and I remember it to this day, he said, you will get a lot of praise, but you will get a lot of flack as well. And boy, was he right. Yeah, I mean, I've had to deal with a lot of negativity, a lot of criticism from people as well, and it's been tough. It's been really tough going.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are people giving you criticism?
Well, the thing is, like, it's a lot of vegans feel that that you know because my businesses are mission-led businesses, and they feel that vegans shouldn't be making money. And really, this is the main criticism that I have had
Wow.
since the start, that that they don't want you making money, that you should be doing all this work for free. And yeah, so it's just I guess they're thinking from their point of view is that if it's something that you love doing, if it's a mission-led thing, then you should be doing it for free. But from my point of view, and from probably a lot of people that run vegan businesses, you can't be doing all this work for free. I mean, people would be horrified. Like, say for example, it would be like getting a job with an employer, and you're an employee, and then they say to you one day, okay, well, we can't pay you. People would be horrified at that, and they wouldn't expect that to happen. And yet, when you're self-employed, when you run your own business, people are expecting so many things from you for free. And this is the challenge that I and probably a lot of vegan business owners have.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. And you're saying more coming from the vegan community, right? Not other vegan business owners, but more vegan community. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
from the vegan community. Yes,
Right.
from the vegan community.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I find that quite interesting because, they should, they consumers, if you're vegan, should be supporting vegan businesses to grow because that's how you create sustainable change in the world. So, the
Mm.
argument's very easy on that. For me, it is because I'm like, okay, well, I already know other brands you're supporting. Why don't you just support vegan brands and give your money to them because that's going to create change in the world? And,
Yeah.
but I mean, you're always going to have that, you're always going to have that bottom percentage that does that too. They do it with us for the compassion stuff all the time with us when we're doing
Mm.
compassion. I mean, you know, it, it's been good because, before I got no pushback, and that's when we weren't even that successful or that big. Now I get lots of pushback, and we're way more
Mm.
successful because there's way more people
Mm.
around our brand all the time now, and so it's almost like if I don't get pushback in a week, we're probably not out there speaking enough, building enough, to tell you the truth. So there should be somebody not liking what I'm doing in some way, shape, or form, and I think if you look at if you look at good marketers, I mean, they understand there's always going to be that area that pushes them back. A couple of my friends online, I remember them talking with them. This is about 30 days ago, and I remember the one said, "Yeah, he's pretty big. He has haters. He has great supporters. But they love when the haters come in and comment because it helps them win the algorithm, and I
Yeah.
know that too. So, if I get five not comments that are not great and 13 that are great, we're beating the algorithm. So I'm getting my brand out there more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and it's just, I think it's part of almost every industry in a way, but different areas, right? So,
Mm.
I
Mm.
like what you're doing, and it's good, and I think you'll have that stronger. You'll have those people that will support and understand, like, hey, I'm building a business here, right?
Mm. Mm.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
So where do you want this business to be in the next 3, 4, 5 years? What do you see with it?
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, so it's I've been very ambitious in that I've called it the world vegan market, and I do want to be truly global. So in terms of where I want it to be in 3, 4, 4, 5 years, I want it to be the go-to place to find all things vegan under one virtual roof, and this is worldwide. And yeah, in terms of the number of members who are part of the market, yeah, as in the people who are who are consumers. Yeah, I definitely want to attract a lot more in 3 years time. Is it too ambitious to say, well, I want there to be 100,000 members and 100,000 potential consumers for my stall holders? That would be amazing. That would be really amazing if I could do that. Yeah, definitely. And as the number of vegan businesses grow as well, and especially small vegan businesses who perhaps they don't know where to start, they don't know where to go, they perhaps are not so familiar with using social media. As the number of vegan businesses grow, there's potentially more people who are going to want a virtual space on my World Vegan Market as well. And yeah, and worldwide as well. I'm predicting that that veganism and vegan businesses is going to grow even more worldwide in the next 3 to 5 years as well.
Why do you think it's going to grow in the next 3 to 5 years, vegan businesses?
I think that a lot of people are maybe getting a little bit you know I suppose you could use the word disillusioned about being an employee. Maybe they like themselves, like myself, you know, I found myself not being valued, and you know, they might be thinking, well, okay, I've been working here for so many years, I'm not being valued, and you know, I want to be able to do something that is mission led as well. So there's going to be people who want to do that. They want to combine what they love with a business as well, and that's why I think that there'll be more and more vegan businesses you know, happening in the next 3 to 5 years, because people want to you know, they want to do what they are doing in their spare time. And running a vegan business, you can actually say that is your form of activism. And you know, because some people, maybe they go out and do street activism, they may go into schools to become a school speaker, or they may you know, be behind the keyboard and sign petitions and that kind of thing. But there is another way of actually using activism, vegan activism, and that is running your own vegan business. And that's how I feel that that it's going to be in the near future. More and more people will want to use their vegan business, or come up with a vegan business that that will promote activism as well.
Yeah, I agree. Do you feel that veganism, and let's say even say plant-based or flexitarian, you know, kind of starting to try, you know, more stuff, do you feel it's going in the right direction? Meaning, do you feel there's going to be more consumers wanting to try it, which will support those businesses so it can map back to their business objectives and actually, you know, make money in the business as well too?
I believe so. And you know, the thing is, the more education, we need to be educating the consumers. And this is what I've been able to do really, really well with my World Vegan Market. It's not just a place where people can go to buy vegan products or vegan friendly services. It's where you can get educated. Like, for example, the World Vegan Month theme for this month is about educating people on how you know, the fact that there are hidden or unexpected animal ingredients in your everyday products, like your skincare, like your clothes even. And I made a post the other day about how animal ingredients are actually are hidden in your clothes. You know, for example, you know, there could be like a silk lining, or your jacket could be used. They may use beeswax on your you know, on your jacket, and so many other things as well in the clothing industry alone. And I've had I mean, one of my stall holders actually, who I feel is you know, leading the way in terms of educating consumers. They are doing leather made out of leather products made out of paper, and so I hadn't heard of that before. I've heard of using pineapple leather, also mushroom leather as well, but I hadn't heard of paper leather. And they've got really, really good quality products as well. And you know, it lasts as long as you know, if not longer than leather products. And then somebody else as well, who was a stall holder, he does cork products as well, and it's the same thing. Cork lasts forever.
Right,
And you know, it's something that, you know, because he makes cork bags, cork sandals, all kinds of things.
right,
So
right.
that's something that you can pass down from generation to generation as well. So I feel with all these innovative things that are happening in the vegan sphere, there's so much opportunity for those who are thinking about starting a vegan business to be able to do that.
What do you feel about vegan companies, not vegan companies, companies that start a division of veganism inside their company, but they're not a vegan company. So let's say the one company makes hamburgers, but then they have a vegan burger of a side project, or somebody makes leather belts, and then they have another part that's vegan belts. What do you feel about that?
Are you talking about small companies or larger companies, or
Companies, any type of company that that is that promote, they might have both products. For
mm,
for
mm,
example, a leather belt and a vegan belt, or McDonald's Big Mac, Beyond the Meat burger in there. Or so what do you feel about these companies coming out, and different businesses just in general, from big and small, of
mm,
being able to add vegan profit streams
mm.
into their business? Do you think it's
Yeah.
a good thing, or do you think it's a bad thing?
I guess the long-term vegan in me would say that it's a good thing, because when I first became vegan, there wasn't all these things. I mean, not that I would go into a McDonald's anyway, but for those who wanted to, they couldn't go into McDonald's for a vegan burger. I'm talking about children who perhaps wanted to fit in with their friends. So the long-term vegan in me would say that that yes, it is a good thing that you've got these companies that have a vegan line, even though they may not originally have been vegan, but the fact that they are producing a vegan line, is a good thing. In terms of the reasons why they're doing it, I think a lot of them are doing it for the reasons of profit, making profit,
Yeah.
and not necessarily from the heart. And so I would, my first choice would be to support small vegan businesses who are at their heart vegan. And that's what my World Vegan Market is about. I mean, yes, I do have people who may not necessarily be completely vegan themselves, but what they promote on my market has to be completely 100% vegan. And the way that I see it is that people are on a journey, and there's a term called pre-vegan, so which means that those who are not yet vegan, they can become vegan in the future. And that's what I believe, that and I really believe that and I really hope that in my lifetime that I will see a vegan world. But we won't see a vegan world if we cut off those who want to perhaps know more about veganism, who are perhaps are on their journey to becoming a vegan, but haven't quite got there. If we cut those people off and say vegan only, then we're actually we're not going to be able to make a vegan world. And I think that it is really important to do that in order for change to happen.
Do you think that, is there a disconnect between somebody that starts a vegan business, but they're not vegan, but they actually start a vegan business?
Um, Probably yes, because it's their, what is their reason for, if a non-vegan starts a vegan business, what is their reason for starting a vegan business? Is it that they're just doing it for profit?
Right.
There is the question there. And so this is happening all over, really. That you got the you mentioned about McDonald's having a vegan burger, and a lot of other large companies are doing that as well. But there is actually a bakery. I won't name who they are, but I know about a bakery that isn't 100% vegan, but they do promote. They have a lot of vegan products, but they themselves are not vegan, and the entire bakery isn't vegan. And you know, they have been promoting on a lot of vegan groups because they have some vegan products in their bakery. You know, let's hope that one day they will become entirely vegan. So you know what, the way that I feel is that you know, if we exclude those people, I mean, you know, if I were to have them on my World Vegan Market, I would say to them, okay, you can only promote your vegan bakery products, and not the non-vegan products.
Right.
But then you know, I would hope that with enough education, because you know, with my World Vegan Market, it's all about educating people as well, that one day that they will become an entirely vegan bakery as well.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. It's always it's a decent conversation and always a good argument from both sides for different purposes. And I find that everyone has a lot of different opinions on that
Mm.
topic. And you know, after I've interviewed, you know, I think over, you know, 75 or 80 guests now in the last 2.5 months, I've
Wow.
gotten a lot of different views on a lot of different you know, things, right? So it's always, you know, it's actually been very interesting as I've gotten more deeper into so many interviews now, because I've gone to ask certain questions where I see them coming up a lot and different views and different things, and right. So it's become even very interesting to me, different, you know, people's different takes and stuff like that. And I was always one that's, you know, was kind of on the fence, like, okay, if you own one, but then you're not, and this, you know, and I think, and there's the other thing of some of the businesses, you know, the CEO being vegan and then only wanting to find vegan employees. And there's a couple businesses I came through that have gotten quite big that have been able to do that, which is very tough because the labor
Mm,
market is
mm,
hard enough to pull from, you know, and especially if you're trying to look for some top talent to help scale a business, you know, you're
mm,
really
mm,
limiting yourself down. So you know, the few that I know that have been able to
mm,
actually build fairly big businesses that way, you
mm,
know, I
mm,
know they've, you know, the one girl is just stuck right to her values and wouldn't lean on it at all on anything, you know, and she's driven
mm.
a lot of revenue, but I knew it's been tougher for her because you don't have as much talent to pull from to build a company.
Mm, absolutely. And also the other thing is the law in the UK. I don't know what it's like in Canada, but you're not allowed to say that that you want a vegan a vegan employee, because
Right.
that's against the law. So the way to get around that is actually you know, in the application form, you know, you would find out why, you know, whether that person is vegan or not, why they want to work for the company, what their ethics are, and that kind of thing. And yeah, so you can get around the law that way, but you can't actually advertise, I want vegan
Yeah.
only,
Yeah.
vegans only
Yeah.
to work for my
Yeah.
company. Yeah.
I don't even think you can do that here. But even if you, I mean, even if you could do that here, I mean, you would have every human rights person jumping on you if you had that in your, you know, the headline of your of discrimination, you know,
Yes.
of your headline, right? I mean, hey, it could be a
Yeah,
good marketing strategy to get your
it
brand,
could be.
to be honest, right? It could cause a lot of good talk, right? So, um, uh,
Well,
uh,
in fact, actually, one of my charity stall holders who runs a CIC company, they did put an advert saying vegan, and the amount of that they only wanted vegan employees, and the amount of publicity that they had, and it was even in her local paper as well. So
yeah.
yeah, I mean
So
that's one way of getting publicity.
totally right. Totally right. Hey, I always laugh because I'm like, the master of getting publicity literally basically marketed himself into becoming the president of the United States, right?
Oh my goodness me.
Right?
Yes.
Like, you know, one thing about Trump, hate him or whatever, like him or, you know, this is not about a political thing I'm saying, but he was just a master marketer that understood how to market himself right into the presidency. Right?
Oh, absolutely. And it might even happen again in 2024.
It's crazy. Yeah, I know, right? That's you know, half the Americans I know are they're back to like, oh shit, if Trump wins that, I'm seriously moving to Canada this time. So awesome. Well, you're doing so many good things. You've got so many things on the go. You know, where can everybody find you at? And you got some charity stuff too, you do, right? And different stuff and everything. So where can they all find more about you, different websites, different social medias, all that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. Thank you, Shane. Yeah, so my website is www.worldveganmarketswithans.com, and my Facebook page, where most of the events and activities and the market is happening, is www.facebook.com/groups/ World Vegan Market without an S. And then my Instagram is instagram.com/World Vegan Market. And it's this, for Twitter, I've had to shorten it. It's www.twitter.com/World Veg Market. Unfortunately, I couldn't have World Vegan Market because you can only have characters that are I think 16 words that are 16 characters long. So unfortunately, I had to shorten it there. Maybe Elon Musk will do something about it. Who knows? Who knows? He's another character, you know, either like him or loathe him. Yeah, he's a bit controversial as well. And I'm on LinkedIn as well. So if you look up Shabari Monica Das, please also get in touch with me on LinkedIn.
That's amazing. Well, everybody go check her out. And, you know, one last question, you know, when you brought up Musk, what do you think of Elon Musk buying Twitter?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, like the fact that he sacked all those employees is not a good thing. Yeah, definitely not a good thing. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know if I should say whether I whether I like him or loathe him. I'm a little bit on the fence there with him, but definitely sacking all those employees was not a good thing. But I do hope that that he will keep Twitter as a way for people to communicate with other people, and you know, just and not censor people, you know, because I feel that that's really important, being able to say how you feel without the fear of being censored. And I do fear that that a lot of these platforms do censor people, and I really hope that that he's not going to do that with Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's already showed that he's not, you know, going to do that because he let back on Andrew Tate and Kathy Griffin. Trump, he let back on. You know,
Well, I don't know if that's a good thing, letting Trump back on.
totally right. So I think Trump sent a message. He goes, "I don't want to be on your Twitter. I got my own stuff on the go now." So I mean, so it's kind of funny, you know. That shows again, you know, Trump really knows how to play, right? Like he
Yeah,
knows even to do that. You know, that
yeah,
comment got out in the media. You know what I mean? And that was probably just said that for, you know, the next, you know, he knew he could get media off that, and you'll probably see him on when he gets, you know, doing his huge push on the run again. But he's at, you know, he's just kind of a master at knowing what to push people and
yes.
get the attention. And you know, and I think Musk is my prediction on Twitter is Musk will turn Twitter into a massive company that actually finally makes money that becomes worth $1 trillion, and it's going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
That is my
Yeah.
100%. They'll bring back something like Vine, He'll probably look at stuff like what's happening big in China, like WeChat and that stuff, and he'll start combining them into the product. And I believe he will build something substantial out of Twitter.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
think he's just,
undoubtedly.
I
Yeah,
think he's just that good of an entrepreneur.
if Musk and I don't know if you guys watch oh there's a program called Spitting Image in the UK,
No.
and it was really hilarious actually, when they showed they showed the character of Elon Musk, and then also Jeff Bezos, and then also oh gosh, this other guy, Richard Branson, all going to space, no, all going to Mars and creating a community in Mars, and their own community. I mean, it could happen. I mean, they're crazy enough to be able to do that, and they've got enough money to be able to do that as well.
Totally. Maybe they'll throw Trump in there too.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see Trump go off to Mars.
Totally. Right. Amazing. Well, everybody go check her out. You guys all know where she is. She's doing good stuff. And obviously there's a lot of business people that watch this, vegan people that watch this, flexitarians that watch this, plant-based that watch us. So go over and follow her and check her out, and all the vegan businesses go over and support her. Thank you so much for being on this wonderful interview today.
Thank you so much, Shane. It's been an absolute pleasure to be your guest.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Till next time.